Hello, everybody. It's Thursday again, and I'm so glad to be back with you and have a chance to do a unique interview today with friends that you've actually heard from before. For any of you who have actually traveled to Portugal with us, you will know them well, and that's Andy and Michelle Milam. And I'm just so thankful to have a chance to do a follow up with them after talking to them literally a year ago, as we were dealing with all of the travel restrictions, which we still are some, and they'll tell you a little bit about that in just a minute. But anyway, Andy and Michelle Milam, wonderful, wonderful mission partners in the country of Portugal. And so let's bring them on right now. Hey, guys.
Hey there.
Hey, Camp.
Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Hey, I just want to say it again. I told y'all a couple of days ago when we were doing our little test run, what a blessing that you are, and what a blessing you have been to our Global Missions Project and in general, and to our participants. And we thank you for that.
Well, you're a blessing to us too. GMP has been and will continue to be a blessing as we partner together. We're excited about the days ahead.
Well, and we actually had a potential project scheduled actually for this month, and I guess it was scheduled for last year, and we had to cancel that. And so we are truly looking forward to the opportunity to get back over there when that time comes for us to serve with you again. Tell me a little bit about how things are right now in Portugal in terms of the fog of COVID.
Well, it is still a fog. Europe in general, is still pretty much locked down between Europe and the United States. But there's good signs of things beginning to open up a little bit. We don't know when that will be, but vaccines coming in and helping. So, yeah, it's difficult, but we see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and so that's exciting to think about ministry in the days ahead. We don't know when that's going to be, but we do see encouraging signs for that to happen.
Yeah,
I know that. Go ahead, Michelle.
We've definitely had to get really creative with ministry and how we interact with people, because we're still required to wear masks everywhere we go in public and things like that. But it's been really neat to see how the Lord has continued to open doors for us to be able to have some ministry.
I've even had personally varied opinions about the vaccine, and everybody has their own thoughts on it and everything. But tell me this: is the vaccine readily available to you in Portugal?
No, not at this point.
Not in comparison to the U.S. Right now, it's 50 and above in Portugal.
Just now gotten to 50 and above.
Can receive it.
Right.
So
that puts us in that category.
So we've finally reached our age category. Because we're foreigners, it'll still be a little while before we can get one.
I guess I would have hit the part in Portugal to get my vaccine about 2 years ago. So
yeah, you'd have been in the first group, Camp.
You know what? I just have to deal with it.
We all have to deal with it. Yeah.
Well, listen, Michelle, you mentioned just a minute ago about how you've been creative in ministry things that you're doing. Can you give me some more information on that for our listeners? Because I know they'd like to know what's taking place there now.
Right. We have a church plant that started about 2 years ago. And so
GMP helped.
GMP has helped a lot with that, with some with projects, but also in helping us get some equipment for the church as well. And so we've moved a lot of ministry to online. And so that was a big change, a challenge for us, because we're not we're technologically challenged. But we have some younger folks who've been able to help us with that. So we do a lot. We've done Bible studies, we do prayer meetings, discipleship, lots of things were online. So we've kind of got a hybrid now that we're able to get out and have some face-to-face things. I think our new normal is going to include some of those online things continuing in some form or fashion.
Well, and to complement that, Camp, one of the ladies that's now part of our church plant came to know Christ through our online worship.
Right.
So that is part of, GMP has invested in us and invested that church plant. And in just the last 3 weeks, we've done virtual ads. We've shared the gospel with 1,600 people just through virtual ads in the last 3 weeks. So the virtual has become, it's a really cool way to get the gospel out in a broader sense, in a quicker way. So it's challenging, but it's really cool in the creative aspects of ministry.
Yeah, we those of us who are a little behind on the technological curve, we marvel at kind of what we've been forced to do, and yet it's God's technology, and He provided the smarts to be able to do it and put it together, and He just opened the door through this for us to learn new ways to do things. Mm-hmm. The interviews that I've been doing with our mission partners over the last year has awakened us to new ways to do things with GMP as well. We actually did a virtual mission project to Guatemala with the Metro Big Band, all gathering here in Nashville, and actually teaching during the day with two-way video, and then in the evenings doing virtual evangelistic concerts. And it was amazing to see how that worked. And that's actually charged our batteries to keep that going as well. Even after we start traveling again, we believe we're going to continue to do some of these virtual things because the potential for reaching people and reaching out is amazing. I don't want to spend too much time talking about that, but on one of the evening concerts that we did during that project, the next day we got a report from the pastor at the church where the project was held. And he said, because they actually did the virtual streaming on that, and he got back to me via email, and he said, "Thank you for that." He said, "God's word was shared, and the gospel was shared." And he said, "We got responses from 12 different countries."
Wow!
And, to do a concert in one church is great, but to know that it's actually being disseminated in virtually around the world is amazing. So I know that your stuff has that ability to do that too. So that's really cool.
Well, and with that real quick, we put out a lot of ads and things like that, but the things that are musically driven virtually, Camp, we see a huge response to that because people are driven to that. And so even virtually, doing a song or an old hymn, and just people are looking for that music. And so music really speaks not only presential or to be present, but the virtual context is really encouraging because people are at home and they're connecting online. And so what are they looking for? That music really is attractive to people.
It's an encouragement.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that. And of course, that's a perfect fit for GMB. And because we began the process of trying to find ways for God's musicians to be involved in missions. And what we discovered, of course, is that music is maybe one of the greatest magnets in the world to communicate to people. And you've just testified to that in the way that your people come and to see those things.
Yeah. Well, as we think about biblically, how is the gospel going to get to all those places? We thought 20, 30 years ago, how is the gospel going to get to these places? And now we look at virtually and then music and sharing the gospel through music. There's no greater way to be able to get the gospel out quickly to so many people.
There's a ministry that our church is connected with called Faith Comes by Hearing. And it's actually literally I'm going to call it virtual. It's technologically it's the Bible recorded in virtually every language in the world, and it's amazing that even in very, very poor cultures in many countries, very, very poor countries, it's amazing how many people have smartphones.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's overwhelming. It's just incredible, So anyway, hey, Michelle or Andy, tell me some more about the ministry. Tell me some more things.
Well, before I forget about it, I want to mention, I was telling Andy earlier today, when I opened my Facebook this morning, one of, how your memories always pop up. One of my memories was from 10 years ago, and it said, "We're excited that GMP Big Band has arrived with all their luggage and looking forward to a good week." And that was y'all's first trip. So that was 10 years ago.
Oh my goodness. That's that was 2011. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So just
That's
to
right.
share a neat story from that, I don't know if you remember, there was a young man during that trip that you met in the park with his wife and newborn baby, Jill. And we have been friends with, that's how we met them as well at the same time. We've been friends with them now for 10 years, have shared with them and prayed with them. And Jill is now participating and playing in our praise band at church.
Oh, that's incredible.
So it's just a neat link that that kind of carries over from the ministry that you guys started 10 years ago. And that's just one of probably many stories we could tell about people that lives were touched that we still see the influence of today.
I still remember that too. I remember him. I mean, I remember Gilles, and because he and his family were just sitting on a bench over, I think, and where we were playing was it was in a park, but it was like a kind of a first of a kind church block party, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and we had the big band sitting outside and playing along, and of course you remember that a Portuguese trumpet player came wandering up and met us, and we told him to go get his horn and come play with us, and we established a relationship with him over the years as well.
Right. So,
and here's another cool story I hadn't even thought about till now. One of those trumpet players, I contacted him just recently to let him know that you guys would be coming back. And that is right. You are coming back, right?
We're coming
back. So the cool thing about this is our church plant Oasis. One of the key areas that we are looking to begin another church plant is the area called Guifonge. And so the president or the mayor of that area is the guy that's a friend of that trumpet player. And that allowed us a couple of years ago to go into that factory. You remember that night? It was cold and rainy, and we were kind of in that corridor playing there at that factory. Well, that's the guy who got us in. We had that big dinner, and all that. Well, that's the guy that now is mayor of that area. So how God crosses paths is just incredible. So now, pray for us. With
now
that
because of that, with GMP, we have an entry into this new area where we're trying to church plant.
Awesome. I say many times that no one connects the dots better than God does.
Amen.
That's right.
And it's things we have no realization of what's happening at that moment, and all of a sudden we realize it's Him. No coincidences. Yeah.
No,
His timing is always perfect.
Hey, remind me a little bit too about the music school where we have been several times actually, and what's going on there, what the possibilities are there.
Yeah, the church there in Braga, which is north of Porto, where we have really partnered and it's been such success. We call the Northern Baptist Association. That's who we work with here. And so there used to be a school of music here in Porto that was run by this association. And that kind of fell to the wayside. And they are now reaching out to this music school in Braga that is run through the Baptist Church of Braga that we have partnered with, us and GMP, and for the idea and the vision of this school to come to Porto and really revamp the whole School of Music for Northern Portugal. And so it's an incredible opportunity for us with GMP the door is already open. So it's a great opportunity to continue pouring into the school there in Braga, but also now reaching into other aspects of Northern Portugal. So.
Well, and we've loved having an opportunity to, play, teach, and whatever with the students there. But it's been incredible opportunities for us to share the gospel and share our testimonies with these young people as well.
Yeah,
we have absolutely loved that. We've only got just a couple of minutes left, and I do want to make sure that I tell all of our listeners today that next Wednesday, June the 9th, that there will be a virtual live streamed evangelistic concert being done by the First Baptist Church of Dallas Choir and Orchestra. And it's going to be at 5:30 p.m. Central Time here in the United States. And the original design of that was that it was going to be broadcast live stream to Brazil, and it is. And we will have a Portuguese translator with us, a pastor who's in Dallas. His name is Evandro Batista, and he'll be translating. But he told me that he also had connections in Portugal as well, and asked if we could send that message out to all of our Portuguese friends in Portugal as well about the concert. Now the concert will be at 11:30 at night for our Portugal friends, and but it'll still be recorded and it'll be available after that. So, but we encourage all of our GMP friends and anyone who potentially is watching this interview from Brazil or from Portugal, please put that on your calendar. That's next Wednesday night. That'll be at 7:30 p.m. in Brazil, and be at 11:30 p.m. in Portugal next Wednesday, June the 9th. Hey, guys, it has been great to speak to you again. I'm so glad to hear your spirit is still good. You're still up, and you're still excited about what God is allowing you to do there. And I know that you're going to be coming back to the States for a furlough here in just a couple of months.
Yeah, we come back in August, and we'll be there through the first of next year. So we'd love to see as many of you GMP people that we know. We'll be in the North Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia area for most of the time. So,
but we'll also be Colorado, Boston.
Yeah, we're going to Colorado and Boston.
So we'll be different places. And I know GMP represents not just the Southeast, but various places. And so come and see us, or we'd love to have a coffee with you while we're there, if at all possible.
Will you still be sending out an occasional newsletter of any kind that people can?
Yeah, we'll be sending out a newsletter to let people know where we're going to be in the States if we're speaking at a church or something like that, so that we can stay in touch.
Great, great. Well, to all of my GMP friends, I'm telling you, Portugal's been one of our favorite places to go. These two missionaries, this mission partner couple, are just two of the best. And if you have not been there with us, I encourage you to consider it in the future when you see the next project pop up to Portugal. God bless you both, and I hope to see you soon once you get back to the States a little bit too.
Certainly.
Yeah, just one word. You guys are a blessing. So we'll leave it there. GMP is a blessing.
Thank you so much. We look forward to you being back here.
Me too. So to all my GMP friends, God bless you all. Now remember, I'm doing interviews now once a month. So the next interview will be the first Thursday in July. So I'll see you all then. Bye-bye.
Bye.